Okay, class, well, I'm happy to introduce to us today Dr. Marauo Davis, who was a Golden Eagle undergraduate student here at the University of Southern Mississippi. Dr. Davis, can you tell us a little bit about the time frame that you were an undergraduate here at the institution?
Yes, thanks for having me, Dr. Masterson. I was a Golden Eagle between the years of 2005 and 2009 there.
Okay. And then you left here and went to graduate school, right?
So then right after departing USM, I attended graduate school at Texas Tech University and ended up studying inorganic chemistry and then completed my PhD there at Texas Tech in 2013.
Okay. All right. So a little bit of time has gone by, but it goes by fast, doesn't
It does
it?
I fast.
It does go by fast. That's absolutely right. So I've got basically four questions that I ask all of the folks that I'm interviewing, and then give you an opportunity to provide any parting thoughts or advice that you'd like to for the incoming freshmen this year. But our first question is, why did you pick chemistry, biochemistry as your major?
So I've always, and it's gonna kind of sound cliche, but it's true. I've always just been naturally curious. My dad is a former science teacher, middle school science teacher, and I can remember as a child him buying me like the little science kit, and I think most of the stuff in there is kind of mostly biology based. Um, However, I can remember looking through my microscope and doing those things and just being so fascinated with those things. And always in my mind, I wanted to know how things worked. My parents had always tore things up when I was a kid, but I was trying to just really investigate how things work and why. And so that kind of carried me all the way through, I would say, grade school. And by the time I got to high school, I had a really phenomenal high school chemistry teacher. She was very young. She was fresh out of college. A lot of good new ideas about teaching that was contrary to what I had had in other classes. We did a lot of labs, and even at that time, I didn't realize it, but we even did some computational chemistry when I was in like did some labs that were purely on computer based. So that was fun. I realized like there's a whole lot out there in the world of chemistry. And so when I went to college, it was not a question, would I study chemistry? I knew right away what I wanted to do.
Okay, fantastic. When did you start getting involved in undergraduate research when you were an undergraduate?
So I think at the time I was there, I know you're required to do like a senior capstone and maybe one other semester of research. But of in my 8 semesters, I think I know I did research. So I had to be in my sophomore year, um, like beginning right in my sophomore year when I started doing research. At that time, I did some bioinorganic work. I did a semester of computational, and then I spent most of my time in inorganic lab.
Okay, all right, fantastic. So I know that you have kind of taken more of a non-traditional route after your PhD, and you're now in with the Bailey Education Group.
Right.
Uh, and so, how did the undergraduate program set the foundation for the career that you have now?
So I think that now because I work in education on that side of things, my first opportunity to actually be involved in teaching was actually at USM. I was actually a TA, a lab TA. And so that gave my first experience with teaching and realizing really how much I enjoyed it. And so then when I started graduate school, I was able to just continue that, and that further fostered my development in the field of education. And there were many times where I was called upon by my lab supervisor, my mentor, to basically go and teach her class. So that gave me more teaching opportunity. But all that, my foundation is certainly from USM.
Okay. USM currently has a new program called the Learning Assistant Program, where we have undergraduates actually assisting with the learning in some courses like Chemistry 106. Is that something that you think students should be involved in?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, that would be kind of similar to what you did as a TA, right?
Right, right.
Which course did you end up TAing? Was it a Gen Chem course or?
It was Gen Chem. Yeah, I think I know I had a couple sections of 106 and maybe 107. But that was a great experience. It was just and actually I see, like, it's crazy because now I see some of those students what they've gone on to do. They either friends on social media or something, and it's like, wow, I was your TA. So it's it's been some time ago, but it was a good opportunity and a great experience.
Okay. So my final question, my final formal question would be, can you kind of describe your current job and explain how your training as a chemist has led to the successes that you've had in your career?
Sure. So now I'm actually a project manager for Bailey Education Group, and so it's not a I'm not a chemist in the workforce now, but I do a lot of things on my current position that my graduate training helped prepare me for. Um, Chemistry requires you to be a critical thinker. You're always having to investigate and answer the question why. And so every day in my job, as I'm traveling all over the state, I'm involved with helping different school districts, both public and private, um, develop their curricula. They're looking at mostly math and science. And so my foundation in chemistry allows me to do that. I'm able to answer the question why. I'm able to help explain how things work and why we need to do certain things. And I think without having done that and not and having the I guess having the ability to be able to think critically like I had to as a chemistry student, as someone in the lab, you always have to answer that question of what if we do this, or if we try this, what would happen? So you're doing that in chemistry. I'm doing that literally every day on my job. And so my background helped prepare me certainly for what I'm doing now.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I want always leave folks with an opportunity to give any advice. So kind of think about it as, what would you tell your freshman self now? Because Chemistry 101 is mostly for, if you
Okay.
had back in 2005, what would that advice be now?
Yeah, it would be study hard. Um, but no, seriously, chemistry can be tough. Feel like it can also be very rewarding. It's one of those areas that when you get out, people are really fascinated to know that you have a degree in chemistry. So it's like a wow. And so, it's not one of these things that's just easy for people to do. So if you're in it, stick with it. Study so that you can be a good student. And then just always be aware of the opportunities that are out there, because there are a lot of very good career options, having gotten the training in chemistry or in science in general, may not even know about. So I would say right now, start to look at those opportunities for 3-4 years from now. What do I ultimately want to do with this degree?
Okay.
And USM is a great place to be. USM has a great chemistry department. And so I still like to try to connect with the professors that are there and some that are still there when I was a student. And so, yeah, it's a good place to be.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I want to thank you for taking time to talk to our Chemistry 108 students, and I know they're going to enjoy all of the advice you had to give them, and interest in your career trajectory. And again, I just want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to our Golden Eagles.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for having me.